Look at all those people pouring in. We said we'll start now. We're not going to wait, right? Let's go. We'll start. Wow. Yeah, we have thousands of people outside, but we're coming in. They'll come in. By the time they get in, we'll be finished, but that's okay, right? Thank you, everybody. So I know a lot about Syracuse. You love Syracuse. I love Syracuse. We love New York. We love the United States of America, right? Better believe it. And folks, we're going to make our country strong. We're going to make America great again. But you know what? We're going to bring back jobs because we need jobs here. We need jobs. So before we came up, I had one of my people just do a couple of numbers. Thank you. Get him out. Never ends. Folks, we're going to take back our country. We're going to take back our country. Believe me. Believe me. So before I came up, I had one of my people. I said, go to the books, the real straight books. Tell me, and I know all about Syracuse. I've been up here so many times. I have so many friends. I do happen to love your basketball team. They did a good job, right? They did a good job. And you happen to have an excellent coach. I don't know if you agree, but I think you have, he's been doing that a long time, and he's kept it good, and you really do have a great thing. And, hey, Jim Brown was great, right? But, Jim Brown, I've always heard, was a better lacrosse player than even a football player. I don't know if anybody's heard that. But great. Just a great, great history. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. So I did a little research. The number of manufacturing jobs has been cut in half in Syracuse, in this area, been cut in half in a very short period of time, folks. We got to do something about it. We're bringing our jobs back. Syracuse lost 40% of its manufacturing jobs since 2001. That's when China happened to join the World Trade Organization. Forget it. Look, we're not going to let China get away with it. We're not letting Mexico get away with it. Our companies are moving out of here. We're going to stop it. We're going to stop it fast. The labor force participation rate is 60%, which is a very terrible number. And as you know, infrastructure in the area, it's a disaster, right? It's a disaster. So you lost your manufacturing, you lost your jobs. Other than that, you're doing great, right? Right? But we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back like never before. If I'm elected president, you're going to have jobs coming to Syracuse, coming to New York, coming all over the country like never, ever, ever before. Remember that. Remember that. So many, thank you, folks, thank you. Do we love our New York crowds? Do we love this? Man, it's good to be back. We've been all over the country. We've been doing really well. We have millions of votes more than the second person, who, by the way, Lion Ted. He's a lying guy. He can lie with the best of them. Oh, a really good liar, though, doesn't get caught. He gets caught all the time. Remember what he did with Ben Carson, right? He said he has left the race, during the election. He's left the race. He didn't leave the race, and he picked up votes. But just remember this, folks. Ted Cruz does not like you, and he does not like New York. Now, you can say what you want, but that's it. Now, he's also in third place. So remember this. Kasich voted in favor of NAFTA. He's a believer in NAFTA. NAFTA destroyed New York State, New England, so many different places. We've lost our jobs to Mexico. We've lost our jobs all over. We are going to straighten it out. But the two people that are running against me, and they're not doing very well, that I can tell you, but they shouldn't do very well. All right, remember that. So we're having a good run. Don't believe the polls. Do not. I had one poll come out today that's so high, I don't want you to believe the polls. Pretend we're losing. I always tell politicians before I became a politician, but I'm not a politician. I'll never be a politician. But I've always told them, pretend you're a little bit down. Because here's the key. On Tuesday, you have to go out and you have to vote. You have to get your friends. Because we have a movement going on. It's a movement like they've never seen in this country. Even the pundits, and these are the most dishonest people there are on earth, okay? The press is terrible. Among the most dishonest people you will ever deal with anywhere in life. They don't tell the truth. Some of them do, but not too many, believe me. But just remember, we have a movement going on, and even the ones that don't like me, of which there are many for a lot of reasons, but even the ones that don't like Trump, they say this is a phenomenon like the country has never seen before, okay? And the only way we keep this phenomena going, I go to Mobile, Alabama. We had 35,000 people. We had 21,000 the other night in Albany. Albany's got the same problems you do. We had tremendous crowds no matter where I go. Rochester, we were in Rochester. Yesterday I was in Hartford, Connecticut. I was in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Good football town. But we were in Pittsburgh. We had tremendous crowds no matter where we go. It's a movement like they've never seen before. It's a movement that maybe isn't going to ever happen again. And the only way you stop the movement is if we don't do a good job on Tuesday. That's what it is. We have to keep it going. And you know what? Let me just tell you very simply. I'm self-funding. I'm putting up my own money, okay? Is that smart? I don't know. I always say I never get enough credit for that. I never get enough credit because when somebody looks at me, nobody thinks that, oh, well, he's putting up his own money. Let me tell you what it means. These guys, these politicians are all bought and paid for. Remember it. Remember it. Look, I used to be the ultimate establishment person 9 months ago. I was like the perfect person. I gave massive campaign contributions to everybody. I was like... But I saw the system, and the system's not working. And the system is all rigged as far as the delegate stuff is going. Now, look, I guess I'm complaining because it's not fair to the people. The people have to be... But when you look at what happened in Wyoming and what's happening there, when you look at what's happening in Colorado, where the people never got a chance to vote, and they're going nuts out there, they're angry, the bosses took away their vote, and I wasn't going to send big teams of people 3-4 months ago, have them out there. Again, I'm self-funding. You know what? You will appreciate because you're business, a lot of business people here. And we're going to cut regulations, by the way, and we're lowering your taxes, big league. But what a lot of you will appreciate, and I think you'll appreciate this, I've spent less money than just about anybody else, and I'm by far in number one position. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? Isn't that the one you want as your president? I remember when we were in New Hampshire, I spent $2 million in one, and Jeb spent, I don't know, so much money. Many, many, many times that, and came out not so good, and all the others did too. What I like is spending the least and having the best result, because that's what we want to do with our country. Spend the least and have the best result. So the system is rigged. It's a bad system. It's a dirty system. And we're going to do something about it. And maybe that'll take place the next time around, meaning in 4 years. But the system is a bad, bad system. And they got to do something about it. The Republican National Committee, they better get going. Because I'll tell you what, you're going to have a rough July at that convention. You better get going, and you better straighten out the system. Because the people want their vote. The people want to vote, and they want to be represented properly. It's totally corrupt politics, and it's happening. In all fairness, the last person that's a fan of Bernie, I'm no fan of Bernie. He went to see the Pope, 5 minutes. Then he came out, he said, we talked about the environment, we talked about global warming, we talked about all these different things. And I said, wait a minute, he was only there 5 minutes. So the Pope gave him 5 minutes. I wonder why the Pope gave him 5. He shouldn't have given him that much time, really. But say what you want about Bernie Sanders. He wins. And then you watch the pundits and they say, but he can't win. You know why? Because the system is corrupt. Because the system is broken. And the Democrats have a different system. They have superdelegates, but our system is worse than theirs. In our system, they're not even voting. The bosses are picking the delegates. And it's a very bad thing. Despite all of that, you know who's going to win? We're going to win. We're going to win, despite all of that. I'll tell you a little story. So when I first started, everybody said, oh, he's just doing it for fun. He'll just do it for a couple of weeks. Would have been a lot easier that way, I have to tell you. Who knew this was going to happen? Who knew? But all the geniuses, all these pundits that think they're smart and they're not, but they're saying, no, he's just going to be in it for a little while and he's going to have some fun and he likes it for his brand. Believe me, my brand. This is the worst thing I can do for my brand, okay? Because I tell the truth. Because I talk about strong borders. Because I talk about the wall. Because I talk about crime has to stop. Okay? Crime has to stop. And bad trade deals have to stop. And taking your jobs out of Syracuse and all of these great places, it has to stop. And it will stop instantaneously when I'm running things. Believe me, it's so fast. And we'll explain it in a second. We'll explain it. But just let me just say this. We have a great country. We have unbelievable people. But we have leaders that are either corrupt or incompetent, for the most part. And we have some good ones, like the press. There's a few good ones, not too many. But we have either corrupt or incompetent leaders. And we got to straighten out our country. And that's what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for one reason. That's why I'm self-funding. I'm spending a lot of money. I say, I'm not putting up. No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You know what happens? Okay, hold it. Hold it, Trump folks. Don't worry about it. You know what happens? My people always make all the noise because they say, there's one, and they start screaming. Now, he's got a very weak voice. Don't worry about him. All right, send him home to mommy. Go ahead, send him home. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. All right, get them out of here. Hey, do you notice they're always right in front of the press, right? They're always right in front. Look where they are, right smack in front of the press. The good news is the cameras follow and they see look at the kind of a crowd early on a Saturday in Syracuse. Look at the crowd. Hey. Does anybody have more fun than at a Trump rally? And I'll tell you something, the safest place on earth is at a Trump rally, and you know that. It's true. They like to act like a big deal, like this guy, he raises his hand, and they're going to say massive protests at Trump rally because they lie. They're like Lion Ted. They lie. All right. It is a little funny, though. Here's another one. The biggest problem, though, are my people. Seriously, because my people get all excited. Here they are, here they are. You can't even hear the person. But that's okay. I love my people. If my people want to, if you feel good doing that, go ahead, do it. Go ahead, get them out. Get them out. My people are the greatest. I have to let them do it. I always say don't pay any attention to them. We'll speak over them. But my people always like to point and go crazy. But that's okay. All right, get them out. Get out of here, please. Get out. Go. It's all right. Do we have a great time? Great. It's so funny. You know, when I first started, I was tough. I was saying, get that guy out of here, get him out. And the press was killing me. So then I became very soft. I said, would you please remove him? And they said, something happened to Trump. He's not tough anymore. All right, get him out. Get him out. Now, get him out. You know, the problem is it's so densely packed, it's hard for the police to get over here. You can't hear him. Don't worry. He's got a very weak voice. My people have the strong voice. You know why we're safe? You know why these are safe places? And it's true every time. Because the people in these rooms that I see and these stadiums, we had 25,000 people in Tampa, Orlando. The people love each other and they protect each other. And that's the way the country has to be for everybody. For everybody. And we're going to bring our country back together. Everybody, not just here. We're going to bring everybody. African American, white, every person, old, young, men, women. We're going to bring people together. We're going to bring people together. Is he gone? Gone? Folks, seriously, I'm totally serious. Look, we have a country that's got tremendous problems. We have 19 trillion in debt, soon going to, think of it, trillion. Nobody even knows what $1 trillion is. Going to 21 trillion because of the horrible budget deal that was just made 3 months ago. So here's the story. We are going to unify our country. You know, people don't think of me necessarily when they think of unification. I'm a unifier. I'm somebody that gets along with people, all people. We're going to get along great. The workers, we're going to get along so great. We're going to have everybody in this country pulled together, and we have to. We're a country. We're a country. We're going to have strong borders. We're going to let people in, but they're going to come in legally. Remember that, legally. And remember what I said. Remember what I said. All people. We have a great representative group here. All people. Men, women, young, old, African American, white, everybody. Hispanic. Hispanic. We love Hispanic. Hispanics are going to, you have to see the polls. I won in Nevada. They take a poll of the Hispanics leaving. Trump wins the poll. Everyone's surprised. I said, I'm not surprised because I produce jobs. What we need are jobs, and that's what we need. So I'm not surprised. But folks, and you're going to hear this from me more and more, we have to bring our country together. We're a divided nation, and we're not going to be a divided nation for long. And we have to bring everybody up economically, and we have to stop the dividing. And we have a president who's a divider, whether you like it or don't. And we have a president, when you look at African American youth, 59% right now unemployment, African American youth. You look at so many other categories, the country's doing poorly, our jobs are being taken, they're being shipped all over the world, they're going to Mexico. You saw what happened, Carrier. You saw what happened, Nabisco. You saw what happened, Ford. I mean, one after another. Thousands and thousands of companies are leaving. Corporate inversion, it's a disaster. They're leaving because taxes are too high and because we allow them to leave. And then they go in, as an example, Carrier. It goes to Mexico. I'm not buying Carrier. I buy lots of air conditioners. Carrier's a good product. I don't buy it anymore. I won't buy it anymore. Let me just say, we should do that. You know, if a company's not loyal to us, in Japan, it's very hard. And I tell you what, I give the Japanese people credit for this, and maybe they're politicians. But you know, in Japan, they don't want to buy American products. They don't want to buy. They want to buy products that are made in Japan. Now, you talk about a corporate imbalance. They send us millions of cars. We send them practically nothing. What do we get out of it? What do we get out of it? So we're going to change it, folks. We're going to have Apple products and other companies' products made in the USA, where we have jobs. And it's going to bring us together, because jobs is like the great equalizer. Jobs will bring us together. Strong, real strong economies. I'm not talking about the economy. Right now, even the other side admits that the jobs we have are called bad jobs. They're bad jobs. They're not good jobs. The 5% unemployment number is a total phony number. It was made up by politicians to make them look good. Our real number is in the 20s. And you know what? Honestly, if it was really 5%, I wouldn't have all these people here. Despite the wall, despite the border, despite the security, despite the fact I'll do the best job with the military, we still wouldn't have all of these people. We still. So we're going to get smart. We're going to get really smart. Now, take an example, Carrie, because I want to talk about jobs. When I'm here at Syracuse, I want to talk about jobs for a specific reason, because you're being drained. You're being drained. And I give credit that you stay here. You're being drained. You love your community. It's beautiful. It's great. You love your people. You love your house. You don't want to leave because some politicians don't know what they're doing. Just hold on, folks, because I'm telling you, I'm bringing them back, okay? It's going to be brought back. And I'm going to be very loyal to New York State. I'm going to be loyal because this is my place. This is my place. Remember that. Remember that. You know, you have these guys like Ted Cruz, where he talked about New York values. He talked about New York values with hatred in his heart. When during that debate, he looked at me and he thought he was going to make some points. I don't even think he's a very good debater, to be perfectly honest. But he talked about New York values, and you could see there was a lot of hatred toward New York the way he said it. Now he comes and he says, well, I meant liberals. You know, give me a break. This guy is so bad for New York. Look at what happened with Sandy. Look at what happened with the aid for certain things. Look at what happened with the votes that he gave to New York. Guess what? He didn't give them to New York. He was against New York. And remember, Kasich, NAFTA, disaster. It took your jobs, and he voted for it and was in favor of it. And they both want TPP. That's Trans-Pacific Partnership. It's going to make NAFTA look like a baby. It's going to make NAFTA, Trans-Pacific Partnership, 6,000 pages. Every country in that deal has read every single word, and they've negotiated every single sentence. And our people, I bet you we have nobody practically that even looked at the document. We just signed these stupid deals, and we get ripped off and wiped out. TPP is going to take the jobs that you have remaining in Syracuse and in New York State. It's going to take them away. We have to stop it. It's another Obama deal. Obama is the worst negotiator in the world, except when it comes to negotiating with the Republicans. He always gets what he wants, right? So here's the story. We're going to make things great. We're going to go to companies that want to leave, and we're going to say, you want to leave. Take Carrier. I use Carrier as an example. They left a wonderful location in Indiana. They left a wonderful location, 1,400 people. It looked like they had some wise guy, mid-level manager. You all saw the clip on television. He gets up, he goes, "We're moving to Mexico, thank you." It's like everybody fired. They've been there for 25, 30 years, 35 years. "We're moving to Mexico," he says. So here's my story. You know, my wife and my daughter, Ivanka, Melania, they all say, and my kids, they say, "Hey, Dad, you're really, really, really smart. Why don't you act a little more presidential? Would be good." I said, "I can't act presidential until I finish the victory, right? We gotta win." They want me to be nice. Remember Jeb Bush when he said, "I don't like Donald Trump's tone"? Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. They're chopping off heads in the Middle East. They're drowning people in the Middle East. If you're a Christian in the Middle East, you don't even have a chance. And if you're a Christian in the Middle East, you can't even come to this country. If you're Muslim, it's easy. If you're Christian, it's impossible to come into this country, okay? That's no good. So here's the story. They're chopping off heads. They're drowning people 50 at a time in these massive, heavy steel cages. Boom, drop it in, pull it up a half an hour later. And I have Hillary and I have Jeb before he lost. But I have Hillary saying, "I don't like the tone of Donald Trump." Folks, we need a tough tone, believe me. We need a tough tone, believe me. And we have to be unpredictable. You know, we're so predictable. Militarily, trade deals, we're like the stupid people. We're represented by people that, well, in many cases incompetent, and in many cases they're very smart because they get money from all of these donors, and these donors want deals to be made. I have a friend who said very strongly, he's a very smart guy. He said, "Donald, I don't understand. How did these senators, and this one particular senator, how did he approve the deal? Is he stupid?" I said, no, he's smart. He's approved it because his lobbyist told him he has to. Because the company gave him millions of dollars, put millions of dollars into these phony PACs, which are total phony deals, by the way. You know, if I ever opened a PAC, I would have had I think Jeb had the biggest PAC, $148 million. I could have done that times 10. In fact, I must tell you this. I don't know if I've ever said it to this extent. I sort of feel stupid not taking all this money. I have these guys, "Donald, I'd like to give you $10 million toward your campaign." I said, "No, I don't want it." "Donald, I'd like to give you $5 million toward your campaign." "No, I don't want it." And you know, this is like counter to my life. My whole life I've been taking money. I make money. I took $1 million loan. In a relatively short period of time, I built a company that's worth more than $10 billion, okay? With $1 million loan. That's how I started. And I built a company with some of the greatest assets in the world, very little debt. I filed all the papers. You know, nobody knew. The press was devastated. They went up and they looked, they said, "Wow, this is a great company." They couldn't believe it. Was like a feeding frenzy. In fact, a friend of mine said, "Now I know you're really rich because you would have never run." Can you imagine if I filed bad papers? If I filed papers where it wasn't a great company? I built a great company. Great assets. Some of the greatest, most iconic assets in the world. Turnberry in Scotland. Doral in Miami. Hundreds and hundreds of acres in the middle of Miami. Buildings all over the place. In addition, we had great success in television. We had great success in the book world. The Art of the Deal, one of the most successful books ever done in business, maybe the most successful. See, I used to say there it is right there. There's another one. The most successful business book ever written. But I don't do that now because they'll go back and examine. Well, let's see. 20 years ago, somebody wrote a book. Let me just tell you. So I say one of the most successful, but I think it might be the most successful. So I've had great success. And when I tell you these things, I'm not saying it in a bragging way. I'm saying that's the kind of thinking we need in this country, at least until we straighten it out. We need that kind of thinking. But so often I'm asked, like, what would you do? What would you do about ISIS? And when would you attack them? And where would you attack them? And how would you do it? And I say, I don't want to answer. I want to be like, why do we always have to tell the enemy what our plans are? Why? When Obama, a number of months ago, said he's sending 50 of our finest young soldiers over to Iraq, over to Syria, and he goes and makes an announcement. And I said, why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? They have a target right now, a target on their back. Everybody's looking for him. If he doesn't announce it, they can do their job, special people, but now everybody over there is looking for him. If he didn't talk, it's these politicians, they have to talk. All talk, no action. We want results. We don't want talk. Is that right? We want results. And I've been saying for years, because I have a lot of fans here, they've been following me, and we just have a great relationship. By the way, the most loyal supporters anywhere probably in the world, in this country. A woman was on television. I got to tell you, I've said this a couple of times over the last few days, but I love this woman. I will search the world for her. She was on television. She's probably 55 or 60 years old. She had 10 women behind her that were Trump fans. They had buttons all over, buttons on their head, buttons in their hair. And this wise guy walks up to him, one of these characters right back here, walks up. Look at all those live television shots. Every time I got to be live, I'd like not to be live so we can really open up. But, so he's on television. And he said, what does it take for you to drop Mr. Trump and go with someone else? She said, don't talk anymore. Don't talk. There is absolutely nothing that man can do that we will drop. And the women behind started screaming. And I told people, I said, and you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to get up and hug and kiss that television set. But we have the most loyal, and we have the smartest people too. We have the smartest people. There was a time when they say, oh, these are the least educated. Let me tell you, we have the smartest people. And the polls in New York are saying, I have the top educated, and I have people without a lot of education. I'm winning with men. I'm winning with women. We're winning with every single category. Now, you got to get out and produce on Tuesday, but we're winning with every single category. Every single. So here, I have to go back because, we're going to talk for a second about the border, but we're going to talk about Carrier first. So I'm going to call Carrier, and I'm going to say, congratulations on your new plant. I'll bet it's going to be lovely. And I have to do this. This is why my kids say, don't do it yourself. I say, I have to. This is too easy, okay? Now, I have the greatest business people in the world endorse me. Carl Icahn, great business people, endorse me. These are people that will represent us with trade deals, not political hacks that get taken to the cleaner. I have guys that can't sleep at night. They turn and toss and sweat. They can't sleep because all they can think of, they're consumed with doing this deal. They want the best in the world. And I know the best. I know guys that are overrated. I know people you never heard of that are better than all of them. But these are people that don't sleep. They toss and turn and sweat. All they can think about, and they'll be thinking about the deal with China, the deal with Japan, the deal with Mexico. They don't want money. They don't even want to do it beyond the deal. They will make the greatest deals. It'll bring our wealth back and it'll bring our jobs back. And with Carrier, but I have to do it myself because it's too easy. Now, Carrier could be Ford, could be Nabisco. Nabisco's leaving Chicago. They're moving to Mexico. Their big plant, moving to Mexico. No more Oreos, folks. I'm not eating Oreos anymore. So listen. So with Carrier, I called the president of Carrier. This is President Trump calling. Can you believe I'm talking to an air conditioning guy? Can you believe this? But I have to do it myself. My daughter would go crazy. She said, Dad, that's not presidential. I'd say, who cares? It's too easy. They said that in the last debate. They said, Dad, you're winning every debate. Every debate they say I won. You saw that, the polls. Drudge, who's an incredible guy, by the way. Drudge. He's incredible. Matt Drudge. But Drudge has a poll. Time Magazine has a poll. Slate. They have like 7 or 8 polls. Every single debate I've won. Every single debate. I didn't even know if I could debate. I never did this stuff before. That's what the politicians do. But every single debate. What happens is I call Carrier. I say, look, here's the story. You are going to pay, first of all, enjoy your plant, enjoy your life. But you just left 1,400 great people in Indiana, and now you're moving to Mexico. And you think you're going to make air conditioning units and sell them to the United States, and there's not going to be tax? Well, there you're wrong. You're going to pay a 35% tax on every single unit you sell to the United States. Every single unit. These companies that are leaving us have to know that when you leave us and you fire all our people from Syracuse and Albany and Rochester and all of the places that I'm going to, and Bethpage, which was an unbelievable rally. But when you fire, I went to Suffolk, which I know all my life. I love Suffolk. I mean, I see all these empty factory buildings. It's ridiculous. You have to know when you move to Mexico or wherever you go, but when you move to Mexico, that if you move, there's going to be a penalty. It's going to be, we're going to tax your product when you come back in. And you know what, folks? We may have lost those jobs, but we're going to reduce the hell out of your taxes because we're going to make a fortune when they sell their product to us, okay? And the politicians have never figured it out. You know, it's called corporate inversion. They don't even know what that word is. It's called corporate inversion. They never figured. They're working on a plan. They want to keep companies. They've been working on this plan for 5 years. They don't have a plan. Here's the plan, folks. I'm a conservative. I'm a free trader. But when you free trade, you have to have smart people representing you. We have very, very dumb people. And we have people that are all taken care of by the money people and the special interests. And I see it. Because, by the way, I have had $94 million in negative ads. And you know, it's by people that I never even met. Who the hell is the Ricketts family from Chicago? They put up millions. They own the Chicago Cubs. I have a great building in Chicago. I think the Chicago Cubs are going to do terribly this year, okay? You want to know the truth. I don't even know who these people are. But you know what? A guy named Singer. Who the hell ever heard of it? I'll tell you a little secret. I was surprised because I thought I was friends, Koch brothers. I thought I was their friend, but somebody said they're linked to a certain PAC. The reason they want to not have me get elected is that I know the game better than any of them know it. I know where the skeletons are, folks. I know all about the games. I know them better than they know them. And they don't want it. Plus, they don't like the fact, one of them said, we hate the fact that Donald isn't asking. I know most of these people. We hate the fact that Donald doesn't want any money. Because if I don't want any money, they don't have any control. Does that make sense? They have no control. They have no control. So I tell Carrier it's a 35% tax on every single unit you sell in. And now we're going to have a real border. We're not going to have a Swiss cheese border. Right? And by the way, the Border Patrol, 16,500 Border Patrol agents endorsed me last week. First time they've ever endorsed a presidential candidate. And Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who's a great guy from Arizona. There's nobody tougher than Sheriff Joe on the border. Sheriff Joe endorsed me. So we know who's going to be the border. We're going to have a real border. And here's what Carrier's going to say to me. They're going to say, Mr. President, you can't do this. You can't. I said, oh, yes, I can. And then about 24 hours, I will be inundated with calls from people, special interest, lobbyists. But I don't care about these people. I don't care. They didn't give me anything. I don't want their money. They didn't give me anything. So I'll be inundated. I won't take the call. I won't even bother talking to them. Why should I talk to them? It's a waste of a call. And I will get a call, I guarantee you, within 24 hours from the head of Carrier saying, Mr. President, we've decided to stay in the United States. That's what's going to happen. 100%. And by the way, that's 100%. That's not like 89.3. That's 100%. So here's what we have to do. We're going to build a tremendous border. We're going to have a great border. We're going to have people come in. We want people to come into our country. They have to come in. But they're going to go through a process and they're going to come in legally. But we're going to build a wall. And it's going to be an incredible wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's going to keep drugs out. And it's going to keep illegal immigrants out. because we can't do it. We can't afford it. We're a debtor nation, folks. We can't afford it. We are not letting people from Syria with no documentation, with no paperwork, with no anything come into our country. And if they do come in, we're going to have to sadly send them back. We cannot take them in our country. You saw what two people did where the woman radicalized the guy and they killed 14 co-workers that they had good relationships with, and everybody said what happened. They were given a baby shower a little time before. You saw what happened. We can't do it, folks. We don't know where these people come from. Zero documentation, zero paperwork. As far as the border itself, we're going to stop. It's killing our jobs. You look at Kate in San Francisco, what happened. You look at Jamil in California, what happened. Shot 3 times in the face by a person that should have never been allowed in this country. And frankly, I have great relationships with Mexico. I have great relationships with the Hispanics because I employ thousands and thousands of people. They're great. But their government is too smart for our government. They could stop this problem even before the wall is built, but they don't want to. The drugs are pouring in. I won New Hampshire, and New Hampshire people, I'd go to meetings, and I'd say, what's your biggest problem? They said, heroin. I said, you got to be kidding. Look how beautiful this place is. You know, you see the beautiful trees and roadways and lakes. Heroin. How does heroin work with New Hampshire? New Hampshire has a tremendous heroin problem, and so do you, by the way. A tremendous heroin. It comes from the southern border. They drive it right through like it doesn't even exist. We get the drugs. They get the cash. No more, folks. It's going to end, okay? It's going to end. No more. They are poisoning our youth. Our youth doesn't have a chance. They're poisoning our youth. Our youth can buy this stuff for less money than it costs to buy candy. Our youth is being destroyed. They're being poisoned. And even beyond our youth. But they're being poisoned, and we're going to stop it. So here's the story. We're going to build a great wall. Who is going to pay for the wall? Who? By the way, 100%. These politicians come up to me and they say, you can't build a wall. This was like a year ago. You can't build a wall. I said, of course you can. Now they don't say that anymore. Now they say, you can't get Mexico to pay. Politicians will never be able to do it. For me, it's easy. It's so easy. Because you know why? We have a trade deficit with Mexico of $58 billion a year. The wall's going to cost $10 billion to build. And it's going to be so beautiful because someday maybe they'll name it after Trump, right? It'll be the Trump wall. You know. I don't want it. But it's going to be a real wall. It's going to be an effective wall. And walls work. All you have to do is ask Israel. Walls work. And we are going to stop illegal immigration, and we are going to stop drugs from destroying and poisoning our youth. Believe me. So, here's the story. Sort of wrap it up. Here's this. This is so, I love being with you people. The same accent. I have the same accent I have, unfortunately for all of us, right? I have that same beautiful little twang as you do. You know, Hillary can talk, although I will say, I do love Arkansas. I won Arkansas. I won Alabama. I won the South. I won Florida. You know, one story I have to tell you about this, just to show you how crooked politics is, but sometimes. So Florida was going to be won easily by Jeb Bush, ex-governor. He was going to win it, or Rubio. Then they see me come into the race, so they fixed it. So what they did is they rejiggered it. So winner take all. This means that Trump won't win Florida because you have the governor coming in and you have the senator. So it was rigged, like everything else in this party. It was rigged. It was rigged so that I couldn't win. So now, winner take all, 99 delegates, just about the top outside of California, where I think we're going to do great, by the way. 99 delegates, winner take all. They changed it so that I wouldn't get any delegates. Then they do a poll. Now it's changed. Then they do a poll. Trump, 48. Bush, 12. Rubio, 14. And they say, oh my God, what did we do? We got to change it back. And I end up winning the state of Florida in a landslide. So you never know how it turns out. Okay, so ready? We are going to rebuild our military so it's bigger, better, stronger than it ever was before. Ever. And by the way, I love this lady. I love this lady. I love this lady. Yeah. Take your time, fellas. Take your time. Take your time. I love you, man. This is a great guy. He was probably waiting here 5 hours. We love you. Hey, give me. I love that guy. You know, he's probably been waiting here for like 5 hours, so tough stuff. But boy, we have nobody, I'm telling you, nobody has the loyalty that we have. These people, they're amazing. You people are amazing, and we're going to really take it. So here's what we're going to do. Thank you. Here's what we're going to do. You got to go out. You're going to remember this afternoon. You got to go out. You got to vote. And I promise you one thing. I'm going to do a great job for you folks. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. I want your vote. Bring everybody you know to vote. Do whatever you can. Just go out and vote. And you leave the rest to me, because I'm working for you. I'm your messenger. You know, when they talk about this incredible group of people, and they actually say it's a phenomenon. They've never seen it before. Every time. Look at this. I mean, on a Saturday morning, look at all these people filling up a convention center. So here's what's going to happen. We don't win anymore. We don't win anymore. We don't win with our military. We can't beat ISIS. By the way, we're going to knock the hell out of them. We're going to knock the hell out of them. We don't win for our great vets. We're going to win for our vets. We're going to take care of our vets. These are our great people. We don't win on trade. We never win on trade. We're losing billions and billions and billions of dollars a year, more money than anybody's ever heard of. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win with education. We're going to get rid of Obamacare. We're going to get rid of Obamacare. Remember. Just remember I said it. It's going to fall of its own weight anyway by 17, but we're going to get rid of it. We're going to repeal it and replace it with something so much better for so much less money. We're going to get rid of Common Core, and we're bringing our education local. We're going to go local. We are going to win at the border. We are going to have the strongest borders, and great people are coming in. They're coming in through a legal process, but we're going to finally have borders so we have our country back again. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to remember this day, and you're going to remember, more importantly, Tuesday. And you're going to say to your family, to your friends, to your husbands, to your wives, to whoever, you're going to say, that was the single greatest vote I've ever cast. That never in my life have I been so happy to cast a vote. And you're going to remember that vote in 2 years and 4 years and 20 years and 30 years from now. And you're going to say again and again, that was the greatest vote I've ever cast. Because you know what's going to happen, folks? We're going to start winning again. We're going to win with trade. We're going to win with jobs. We're going to win with economy. We're going to win with our military. We're going to win for our vets. We're going to win with education. We're going to win with health care. We're going to win so much. You're going to say, please, please. I love doing this. I do love it. You're going to say, Mr. President, please, we can't stand it. We're winning too much. We can't stand it. Please, let's not win all the time. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry. We're going to win more and more and more. And we're going to make America great again. I love you. I love you, Syracuse. We're going to win. Thank you. I love you. Thank you, everybody.